Long before humans even took their first breath, the ancient Greeks envisioned a universe that didn't roar to life with fire and light, but rather emerged from a profound silence and endless, motionless void they called chaos. From this cosmic abyss came primordial beings: Gaia, the earth; Tartarus, the abyss; Eros, the force of creation; and Nyx, the night itself. These entities weren't gods in the way we think of today. They were colossal forces shaping the very fabric of reality. Gaia, the mother of all existence, birthed Uranus, the sky, who became her partner. Together, they created the Titans, titanic beings whose footsteps sent tremors through the mountains. But Uranus, fearing the might of his own children, imprisoned them deep within Gaia, causing her unbearable anguish. This injustice sparked a rebellion that would echo through the ages. Gaia crafted a massive, jagged sickle and entrusted it to her youngest Titan son, Cronus. Under the cloak of night, as Uranus descended to Earth, Cronus struck. The sky erupted with a deafening roar as he severed his father, seizing power in a cataclysmic act that would forever alter the universe. Cronus ascended as the ruler of the cosmos, a king of the Golden Age, yet haunted by a chilling prophecy: one day, your own child will rise against you. Paralyzed by fear of a fate mirroring his father's, Cronus swallowed each of his children at birth: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, each one devoured whole, trapped in the darkness of their father's belly. But when his wife Rhea bore their sixth child, she could bear it no longer. She concealed the newborn on the island of Crete and presented Cronus with a stone wrapped in cloth. He swallowed it without a second thought. That child was Zeus. Raised in a hidden mountain cave by nymphs, nourished by a magical goat, and shielded by warriors who clashed their shields to muffle his cries, Zeus grew into a formidable young man. When the time came, he returned to confront Cronus. Armed with a potion from the clever Titan Prometheus, Zeus compelled Cronus to regurgitate his siblings, now fully grown and ready for battle. Together, the six siblings unleashed a war of epic proportions, the Titanomachi, a clash that reverberated through the world and reshaped the destinies of gods and humans alike. In the aftermath of this cosmic struggle, a new order emerged, one that the Greeks believed still influenced their lives. This was the dawn of Olympus, and perhaps the first hint of a mystery that could lead us to the fabled civilization of Atlantis. After defeating the Titans in a 10-year war, Zeus and his siblings Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia stood victorious over a shattered universe. The old order was gone. The new rulers prepared to sculpt a world that, according to Greek tradition, far more closely resembled our own. The three brothers performed a sacred lottery to divide the cosmos. Zeus drew the sky, becoming king of the gods. Poseidon won the oceans, commanding storms and earthquakes. Hades claimed the underworld, ruling over the realm of the dead. Together, the three formed an uneasy balance, one that would influence nature, fate, and human destiny. Meanwhile, atop the mountain of Olympus, a new divine society emerged. The Olympian gods were unlike the distant cosmic forces that preceded them. They were powerful yet emotional, immortal yet flawed, reflecting the very best and worst of humanity. Zeus ruled not just with thunderbolts but with political skill, alliances, and sometimes fear. Hera became the goddess of marriage, though her life with Zeus was anything but peaceful. Athena emerged from Zeus's head fully grown and armored, symbolizing wisdom born from divine thought. Apollo brought light, music, and prophecy. Artemis guarded nature and childbirth. Ares embodied war's brutality, while Aphrodite brought beauty and desire. The Olympians shaped every corner of the ancient Greek world. Volcanoes were believed to be the forges of Hephaestus, the crippled god of fire. Flocks of birds were thought to carry messages from Apollo's oracle at Delphi. Even the unpredictable sea, whose storms could shatter entire fleets, was seen as the wrath of Poseidon. But the gods were not unchallenged. Deep beneath the earth, hidden in darkness, the defeated Titans plotted revenge. Among them, one was more dangerous than all others: Cronus's monstrous ally, Typhon, a creature with 100 serpentine heads whose breath could melt stone. When Typhon rose, Zeus waged a battle so violent it turned the skies black. Lightning flashed across mountains, oceans boiled. The world nearly tore apart. Zeus triumphed, but the victory came with a price. The gods strengthened their control, establishing a strict order, one that demanded obedience from humans and immortals alike. Yet even within this divine order, cracks began to appear. Why were humans created? What was the purpose of their suffering? And why did ancient philosophers, thousands of years later, insist that beneath the myths lay the memory of a forgotten civilization, one older than Greece itself? Clues begin to appear in the legends of Prometheus, the flood of Deucalion, and a mysterious island kingdom that vanished in a single night, Atlantis. The rule of Olympus gave rise not only to gods but to a new era, the age of heroes, when mortal men performed deeds so extraordinary they blurred the line between humanity and divinity. But before heroes could emerge, the world had to be shaped and threatened. One of the earliest acts of defiance came from Prometheus, the titan who pitied humanity. According to legend, humans originally lived like helpless shadows, shivering in darkness. Prometheus stole fire from Olympus and gave it to mankind, launching civilization, cooking, metalwork, warmth, invention. Furious, Zeus chained Prometheus to a cliff where an eagle devoured his liver each day, only for it to regrow at night. This myth symbolized the eternal struggle between human ambition and divine authority. But Zeus's punishments didn't end there. Fearing mankind's growing power, he sent Pandora, the first woman, with a jar filled with misery. When she opened it, sickness, greed, war, and sorrow spread across the world, leaving only hope behind. To this day, historians see in this myth an echo of ancient disasters, volcanic eruptions, plagues, and sudden social collapses. Against this backdrop emerged Greece's greatest heroes. Hercules, a demigod son of Zeus, battled the Hydra, captured the Golden Hind, and held up the sky itself. Perseus faced Medusa, a creature so terrifying that one glance could turn a man to stone. Theseus ventured into the labyrinth to confront the Minotaur, a story many believe was inspired by the complex palace ruins at Knossos on the island of Crete. Jason and the Argonauts crossed the Black Sea in search of the Golden Fleece, a story that preserves ancient memories of early exploration and trade. The heroes fought monsters not merely for glory, but to restore cosmic balance. Each victory symbolized order triumphing over chaos, echoes of the Titanomachy repeating in human form. Yet even as heroes rose, whispers of a lost world grew louder. Many ancient Greek storytellers believed the heroic age came after a far older civilization vanished beneath the sea. Plato, the philosopher, wrote that long before Athens existed, a mighty island kingdom possessed advanced architecture, naval power, and extraordinary wealth. This civilization challenged the Greek world and was destroyed in a single night by violent earthquakes and floods, Atlantis. The Age of Heroes, then, may not have been the beginning but the aftermath of a catastrophe that erased an earlier age of human greatness. One of the oldest and most fascinating myths linking Olympus to lost civilizations is the Great Flood, a disaster described not only in Greek tradition but in cultures across the world. According to the Greeks, humanity became corrupt and violent, provoking Zeus to cleanse the earth with a catastrophic deluge. Only one couple survived, Deucalion and Pyrrha, who drifted in a wooden chest for 9 days before landing on Mount Parnassus. Guided by the oracle of the goddess Themis, they repopulated the world by throwing stones over their shoulders, stones that transformed into human beings. But modern archaeologists see more than symbolism in this myth. Around 5600 BC, a massive flooding event transformed the Black Sea, swallowing coastal settlements. Ancient sailors may have passed this story down for generations until it became the Greek tale of Deucalion's flood. After the flood, humanity sought answers, and those answers came from the oracle's mysterious priestesses believed to speak the will of the gods. The most famous, the Oracle of Delphi, sat over a fissure that released intoxicating vapors. Scholars now know that these vapors were natural gases that caused hallucinations, explaining the oracle's trance-like prophecies. One prophecy, however, remains the most intriguing. The oracle's cryptic warnings about civilizations swallowed by the sea. The Greeks believed that before their history began, a mighty kingdom once ruled the Atlantic. Its people possessed knowledge of the stars, mathematics, agriculture, and engineering far beyond anything in the ancient world. But when they attempted to conquer Athens, they were punished by the gods and destroyed. These stories reached Plato, who recorded them in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. According to him, the myth was not fiction but history told to the Greeks by Egyptian priests who claimed their own records went back thousands of years. Modern researchers have found uncanny parallels. Ruins off the coasts of Spain and Morocco. Mysterious underwater structures near the Bahamas. Ancient maps describing a vanished Atlantic island. DNA links between Mediterranean and Atlantic populations were these traces of Atlantis, or of a real culture that inspired the legend. The Greeks believed the gods shaped human destiny, but perhaps the reverse is true. Perhaps the myths of gods and floods are the memories of ancient people trying to explain a catastrophic loss. Atlantis, then, may be more than a story. It may be a window into a forgotten past. According to Plato, Atlantis was a vast empire ruled by 10 kings descended from the sea god Poseidon. Its capital was a glittering city constructed in perfect concentric rings of land and water, protected by walls plated in precious metals. The people of Atlantis were advanced navigators, skilled builders, and masters of agriculture so advanced, Plato said, that their knowledge seemed almost supernatural. But as the Atlanteans grew powerful, they grew arrogant. They expanded their empire across the Mediterranean, challenging ancient Athens in a massive war. Some scholars believe this conflict may reflect real prehistoric battles between early European and Mediterranean cultures. Then, without warning, disaster struck. Plato described violent earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and towering waves that consumed the island in a single night. The ocean swallowed Atlantis completely, leaving not a trace. For centuries, scholars debated where was Atlantis. Some theories point to the volcanic destruction of Thera Santorini around 1600 BCE. The lost Tartessian culture of southern Spain submerged islands near the Azores. Doggerland, a prehistoric landmass in the North Atlantic. An advanced pre-Bronze Age civilization erased by climate catastrophe. Whichever theory is true, one thing is clear. Ancient societies experienced real disasters that left deep psychological scars. For the Greeks, Atlantis was more than a lost island. It was a cautionary tale about the rise and fall of civilizations. But the most intriguing connection lies with Olympus. Poseidon, god of the sea, was said to be the founder of Atlantis. And according to some ancient interpretations, the tension between the Olympian gods reflected older cultural memories of rival civilizations, one on land, one at sea. When Atlantis fell, the Greeks believed it marked the end of an era and the beginning of the world they knew. Though Atlantis disappeared, its memory shaped the world that followed. The Greeks believed that after its fall, the gods withdrew further from humanity, leaving heroes and mortals to shape their own destiny. Olympus remained the symbolic center of Greek religion, but its influence was now cultural myths guiding morality, rituals protecting cities, and stories shaping how Greeks understood life, death, and the universe. Yet the echoes of Atlantis persisted. Philosophers debated its causes. Was it divine punishment, a natural catastrophe, a lost technological culture, or simply a memory passed down so long that it became myth? Modern science now reveals surprising clues. Ancient shorelines show signs of sudden flooding. Entire islands collapsed into the sea around the Bronze Age. Trade networks vanished after mysterious earthquakes. Many cultures share the same story, a proud civilization destroyed overnight. Perhaps Atlantis was not a single place, but a pattern, civilizations rising and falling, repeating across history. Greek mythology, then, is more than entertainment. It is a record of how ancient people understood creation, disaster, and the fragile balance between progress and destruction. The gods represented forces they could not control: storms, volcanoes, fate, love, war. The heroes represented human courage against impossible odds. And Atlantis represented the warning that even the greatest societies can fall if they lose their way. As we look back from the modern world and era of rapid growth, powerful technology, and global connections, the story of Atlantis feels less like a myth and more like a reminder. Civilizations are fragile. Power can corrupt. Nature is unstoppable. And somewhere beneath the waves, the truth about our past may still be waiting.